So good morning, everyone. Have a pleasant morning. But before we start, or before I start my lesson proper, I would like to show you something. Is it visible now?
Not
So
yet.
is it visible now? So wait, I cannot go back. Hindi pa ba kita yung screen?
Yung good morning class ba?
Sige. Wait lang. Yun. So, I am saddened yesterday night when I found out a news about a girl being abused by a certain actor, which is Mr. Kit Thompson. Have you heard that news? So it's Women's Month now. We are celebrating Women's Month, and it is just so saddening to hear news on that topic. So why am I sharing this to you? Because it has a relation to my topic, which is the pronoun and its types and antecedents. And in my class, I don't just want you to perfect your grammar or to improve your grammar, but also to be gender sensitive. That's why I prepared a question here, a motivation question. In a casual conversation pertaining to a friend who is gay or lesbian, what pronoun you must use? May I ask Miss Aline to answer this question? Miss Aline? In a casual conversation pertaining to a friend who is gay or lesbian, what pronoun you must use? Because one of my goals as an English instructor is to develop the gender sensitivity and awareness of my students, not just about their grammar, not just to improve or even perfect their grammar. Miss Aline? Or may I call on Miss Keith Barikawa?
For me, it's they.
They. Thank you for your answer. But for me, the accurate answer for this one, or the precise answer, or the right answer should be to ask that person, to ask for your friend. Asking means no harm. There's no harm in asking. We should always remember to respect other people despite their sexuality, despite our varying beliefs, despite our differences. And a pronoun is not a big deal, right? It is much more better to ask a person on what pronoun he or she is comfortable using. With that said, let's go on to our p-test. And I named it myself Replace Me. So we have here the first example. President Rodrigo Roa Duterte is the 16th president of our country. Blank is a charismatic president. Who would like to answer? What pronoun we must use in this sentence? May I call on Miss Kyle Barikawa?
He.
Thank you. The next example we have here, Vice President Leni Robredo is the 16th Vice President of our country. Blank aims to elevate the lives of the poor. May I call on Miss Baroga to answer if she's here? Miss Charlotte. Second example. I think she's not here. So the right answer here, she, yes, thank you. The right answer is she because it pertains to a woman and we should use a feminine type of pronoun. Last, we have President Duterte and Vice President Robredo are both important officials in our government. Blank are doing their best to serve our country. Miss Crystalline Sestona, can you please answer this example? Can you provide the correct?
Ako po?
Yes.
Ako po?
Yes.
Okay, the answer is they.
Yes, thank you. That's the correct answer. Let's move on to another examples. Imagine that you are holding a pen. For example, I have here a pen. I am holding a pen. Blank pen is quite cheap compared to other brands. So what pronoun must I use if I'm holding this pen right now? In this scenario, what pronoun should I use?
This.
Yes, thank you, Miss Keith. The right answer is this because it is near in distance. So we should use the pronoun this, and it is a singular singular in form. That's why we should also use a singular form when it comes to the pronoun. So the second case, imagine that you are pointing at a book in a bookshelf. Blank that book is one of my favorite because it has a wonderful story. Yes, Miss Aline, you're raising your hand.
The answer is that.
Yes, you're correct because we must use that because you are pertaining to a book that is far in distance and it is singular. So we should also use a singular type of pronoun. Next, we have imagine that you're holding many coins in both of your hands. Blank coins are given to me by my mother because I help her in cleaning our house. Who would like to answer? Yes, Miss
Ako
Keith. I'm Miss Charlotte. Okay.
The answer is this.
Yes, correct. The fourth example we have here, imagine that you are pointing at many trees outside your house. Blank trees were already there since I was just a child. So what do you think is the right answer in this example or in this question? Yes, Miss Kyle?
Those.
Yes, correct. So let us now move on to our lesson, which is pronoun and antecedents. So before that, before I begin to elaborate pronoun and its different types and antecedent, who would like to give me just one word which is related to the definition of pronoun? Just one word. No explanation, no elaboration, just a word that you think is connected to the definition of pronoun. May I ask Miss Aline? Yes, thank you.
Function.
Come again?
Function. Function.
Function. Yes, thank you. So let us now move on to the definition of pronoun. What is a pronoun? A pronoun is a word that takes the place of a noun. Example, he, she, it, and they. Pronouns can do all the things that nouns can do. Because they replace nouns, they can also take the role of nouns, right? They can be subjects, direct objects, indirect objects, object of the preposition, and more. So the one word that can really be connected to a pronoun is replacement because it replaces noun. And because it replaces noun, pronoun replaces noun, it can take the responsibility or the role of a noun because it takes its place, right? So therefore, it can also take its role. Next, we have antecedent. In grammar, an antecedent is an expression that give meaning to a proform. A proform takes its meaning from antecedent. So we have here an example. Ace arrived late because traffic held him up. The pronoun him refers to and takes its meaning from Ace. So Ace is the antecedent of him. The antecedent here is the subject in the sentence, and in the given example, the antecedent is Ace, and the proform is him. Why did we use him as the proform or as the pronoun in this example? It's because we assume that Ace is a man, therefore we must use a masculine type of pronoun. Is that clear?
Yes.
Yes, thank you. So we have here pronoun antecedent agreement. So we don't only have subject verb agreement in the English language, we also have this what we call pronoun antecedent agreement. So first example, Jane called her friend. Jane and her are both singular and feminine. We will go back to subject verb agreement. We should relate this one because they are similar. When we use a singular form, when we have a singular subject in a sentence, we should use singular verb, right? And in pronoun antecedent agreement, if the pronoun is singular, therefore the antecedent must also be singular, and we should always be mindful, we should always consider the gender of the subject in the sentence. And we assume that the subject here, which is Jane, is a woman. Therefore, we should use her because her is feminine and is a singular pronoun. So the second example we have here, John called his friend. John and his are both singular and masculine. We assume that John here, as having John as our subject in the sentence, is singular, of course, and masculine. That's why we should use the pronoun or proform his. So the last example we have for the pronoun antecedent agreement is the girls finished their job. The plural pronoun agrees with the plural antecedent. So the subject in this sentence is the word girls, and it is plural, right? So we should also use plural antecedent, which is their. And I think it is very simple. Just take a look at the subject of the sentence. Take a look at the antecedent. If it's singular, use singular. If it's feminine, use feminine pronoun. If it's singular and masculine, use a singular and masculine type of pronoun. And if it's plural, of course, you should use, when an antecedent in a sentence is plural, therefore you should use plural pronoun or proform. So let us go now to the different types or kinds of pronouns. The first example we have here is the personal pronoun. Personal pronouns take the place of people or things. They can be either singular or plural, depending whether they refer to one or multiple nouns. Examples include the words I, me, you, we, and us. Personal pronouns are usually either the subject of a sentence or an object within a sentence. Each personal pronoun has different forms depending on its function. So we have here an example. If a writer is referring to himself, he should use I if he's the subject of a sentence, as in, I saw the dog. If he's the object, he should use me, as in, the dog saw me. So if a person is using a first person point of view in expressing himself in a sentence construction, he should use I, or she should use I if he's the subject. But if the writer becomes the object, if the one speaking in the sentence becomes the object, and we have here the example, the dog saw me, we should use the personal pronoun me. Is it clear? Am I making myself clear? Yes, thank you.
Yes.
Sir, I have a question.
Yes.
Sir, what if the sentence is, my mom gave a letter for my dad and I or me?
Ma'am,
What pronoun will I use, sir? I or me in the sentence. My mom gave a letter to my dad and blank. Is it I or me?
ma'am,
What? Because I am confused with I or me.
yes, ma'am.
So what will I use, sir?
I don't quite understand the sentence.
My mom gave a letter to dad and me. Is it correct, sir? Or is it I?
I think it's me, ma'am,
Why, sir?
because
May I know the
you
reason?
became an object in the sentence, because the subject in the sentence is, or the main subject in the sentence is your father.
Thank you, sir. How
Yes.
about if it's the subject, sir? How
Then
could
you
it
should,
be?
yes, ma'am. Then if you are the subject in the sentence, you should use I.
Is it, may I revise the sentence, sir? Dad
Yes,
and
ma'am.
I? Is that correct? When I use dad and
Like I was
went to
given
the
a
beach?
letter by my mother and my father. Like I given a letter by.
Okay. What if
Yes,
the sentence, sir, is dad and I went to the beach? Is it correct, sir?
I
Or
think it
dad and me went to the beach.
dad and me, ma'am,
Why, sir?
because you became the object in the sentence.
Is that so, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Very well
So yes, ma'am.
explained.
Thank you po. So we now move on to personal pronouns. May I ask Miss Aline Almoiti to read the slide?
Yes, sir. So personal pronouns are usually either the subject of a sentence or an object within a sentence. Each personal pronoun has different forms depending on its function. For example, if a writer is referring to himself,
I think it was, I'm sorry, I'm mistaken. We should move on to the possessive pronoun. Sorry, Miss Aline, can you please read this slide? Thank you.
yes, sir. We have possessive pronouns. Possessive pronouns are personal pronouns that also indicate possession of something. They have singular forms like my and plural forms like our. These pronouns often appear before the possessed item, but not always. For example, both my car and the car is mine. Both indicate who owns the car.
Thank you, Miss Aline. And I will give you a tip for you to identify what kind of pronoun is present in a sentence and their function. So we go back to the first type, personal pronoun and possessive pronoun. If you take a look at their name, right? Personal means it is something that is personal, and possessive pronoun means possession. And if you really look at these words and dig deeper into its meaning, you can you can easily identify what kind of pronoun is used in in a certain sentence and what is their role. Just take a look at the first word, possessive pronouns. Possessive means possession. It tells that something is owned by someone, right? And we have here the example, both my car and the car is mine, both indicate who owns the car. Possessive pronouns indicate possession. So we have also here another example, the words that are possessive pronouns. Mine, yours, his, hers, ours, and theirs. It is a word that replaces a noun and shows ownership. We have here another example. It's not yours, it's mine now. So meaning possessive pronoun, the main function of this type of pronoun is to show possession. Next, we have reflexive pronouns. When a subject performs an action on itself, the sentence uses a reflexive pronoun after the verb. Reflexive pronouns include myself, himself, themselves, and herself. An example of a reflexive pronoun is the common expression, I kicked myself. An reflexive pronoun, it is a subject it is when a subject performs an action on itself. We have here another example. We check ourselves for lies. The antecedent of ourselves is the word we, and the pronoun used, which is a reflexive pronoun, is ourselves, which reflect backs on our antecedent, which is the word we. On the second sentence, while calling on the gods, a man should himself lend a hand. The antecedent of himself is the phrase a man, and the reflexive pronoun reflects back on the antecedent of the sentence, which is the phrase a man. Next, we have intensive pronouns. Intensive pronouns are similar to reflexive pronouns but have a different function in a sentence. An intensive pronoun is not a necessary part of a sentence, or it is not essential and serves only to add emphasis. When we talk about intensive pronouns, we should remember the word emphasis or intensity or intensify. It gives intensity to a sentence. For example, I told the children that you yourself would bake the cake today. In this sentence, yourself is an intensive pronoun that repeats the idea that you are making the cake. We have another set of examples here. Sarah can open it herself. So the antecedent of herself is our subject, Sarah, and the intensive pronoun use, which emphasizes our antecedent, is the word herself. The second example, we can raise the funds ourselves. And the antecedent of the sentence is the word we, and the intensive pronoun use is the word ourselves, which emphasizes or intensifies our subject we. So can you please give me the main difference between a reflexive pronoun and an intensive pronoun? Miss Crystalline, do you have an idea about the difference of intensive pronoun from reflexive pronoun? Because in the PowerPoint it says that they are sometimes become similar but have different function. Mrs. Tona. Or may I call on Miss Keith? What do you think is the main difference between a reflexive pronoun and intensive pronoun? Well, I guess there's no one to answer the question. Well, I've learned this from Ma'am Edita Ballesteros from our class last year, that the main difference between a reflexive pronoun and an intensive pronoun is that a reflexive pronoun is essential in a sentence, while an intensive pronoun is not that necessary or important in the sentence. So we have here, Sarah can open it herself. Even if you remove the intensive pronoun herself, the sentence is still means the same, that Sarah can open it. For example, she's opening a bottled water. Sarah can open it herself. Even if you remove the intensive pronoun herself, the sentence can still stand onto its meaning. The second example, we can raise the fans ourselves. Even if you remove the intensive pronoun ourselves in the sentence, it still means the same. So that's the main difference between reflexive and intensive pronouns. Intensive pronouns are not so essential in a sentence. You can still express the same thought you want to express in a sentence, even if you do not use an intensive pronoun. So we have here another type of pronoun, indefinite pronouns. So my tip, I think, is really that helpful, because if you take a look at the word indefinite, meaning it's not specific, it's general. So we go to the definition. Like personal pronouns, indefinite pronouns refer to people or things, but they don't have a specific person or thing to reference. Examples of indefinite pronouns include some, anyone, and everything. It's a pronoun that refers to a person or thing without being specific. So we have here 4 examples. So the first one, I have eaten everything in my fridge. For example, I am the subject in the sentence, and I have a fridge, and in my fridge, I have lots of food. For example, fruit, chocolate. But when I want to express myself that I eaten those food in my fridge, I should not, or I am not required to uh, I am not required to say all the things I have eaten. Instead I can say I have eaten everything in my fridge, and that makes it easy. Next is I need to find something. The subject is not sure about what he or she is looking. That's why he used the indefinite pronoun something. And the next examples we have here, I have nothing for breakfast and anything would be okay. In an indefinite pronoun, just take a look at the word itself, indefinite, meaning it's not definite, it's not specific, it's general. And the words that falls onto the category of definite pronouns are some, anyone, anything, and we can also say few, right? Or other words that is generalizing a subject. Next, we have demonstrative pronouns from the words demonstrate. Demonstrative pronouns point out or modify a person or thing. There are only 4 demonstrative pronouns, these and that for singular words, and these and those for plural words. When used to represent a thing or things, demonstrative pronouns can be either near or far in distance or time. When it is on the case of near in distance or time, we should use the pronouns this for singular and these with an E plural. But if it's far in time or distance, when you are referring to things that are far in distance or time, we should use that for singular, and those for plural. So I have here a very informative example. For singular and near in distance, you can see here a hand showing or pointing towards a clover leaf, a single clover leaf. So we should use this because it is near in distance. We go back to the rule. Near in time or distance, we should use this for singular. And if it's far, as you can see here in the picture, the hand is pointing toward a clover leaf that is far in distance. So we should use that because it is still singular and it is far in distance. That's our rule. And for our plural examples, you can see here the same hand pointing towards clover leaves. There are 3 clover leaves already in this image. So we must use the demonstrative pronoun this. And if those clover leaves are far in distance, as you can see in the last image here, the hand is pointing towards several clover leaves that is far. Therefore, we should use the demonstrative pronouns those. Next, we have the reciprocal pronouns. Reciprocal pronouns are similar to reflexive pronouns, but they involve groups of 2 or more that perform the same action with one another. There are only 2 reciprocal pronouns, each other for groups of 2 and one another for larger groups. In demonstrative pronouns, we have only 4, but in reciprocal pronouns, we only have 2, which is the phrase each other for groups of 2 and one another for larger group. So we have here an example. For mutual love, my dog and cat love each other. Because the sentence involves only 2 subjects, which is the dog and the cat, therefore we should use the reciprocal pronoun each other. On the second example, you can see here mutual support. They all support one another, and we can see in the image that there are 3 people, and we should use the reciprocal pronoun one another. Last, we have in the type of pronouns, we have the distributive pronouns from the word distribution or distribute. A distributive pronoun refers to one person, animal, or thing at a time. These pronouns include each, neither, and either, which should be paired with plural nouns and singular verbs. Here's one example. Each of the dogs had a bath today, or neither of the packages arrived on time. We can see here that the pronoun used is a distributive pronoun, and it is the word each, but they use plural nouns. It refers to plural nouns, but you should use a singular verb. Each, the distributive pronoun of the dogs is a plural noun, but we should use a singular verb, which is in this case had, because a distributive pronoun refers to a person, one person, animal, or thing at a time. That's why we should use a singular verb, even though the subject is plural, because we put there the distributive pronoun each. And the next sentence also applies that rule. Neither of the packages arrived on time. In pronouns, we can also apply here the different cases, which only have 3, which we only have 3. First is the subjective pronouns, second, objective pronouns, and third, possessive pronouns. And as my tip, take a look at the first word, subjective pronouns. The subjective or nominative pronouns are I, you, he, she, it for singular, and we, you, they, and who for plural. A subjective pronoun acts as a subject in the sentence. From the word itself, subjective, meaning it is a subjective pronoun acts, or its role is to be a sentence, or in a sentence is to be a subject. The next case is an objective pronoun. The objective or accusative case pronoun are me, you, him, her, or it for singular, and us, you, them, and whom for plural. The objective case is used when something is being done to or given to someone. When something is the object in the sentence, we should use objective pronoun. When something is subject in the sentence, we should use subjective pronoun. Last, we have last before our evaluation, we have the possessive pronoun. There are two types of possessive pronouns. The first type is used with nouns my, his, her, your, its for singular, and their and our for plural. The other type of pronouns are sometimes called independent possessive pronouns because they can stand alone. They are mine, yours, his, hers, yours for singular, and yours and theirs for plural. The possessive pronouns show that something belongs to someone. It shows possession. So for the evaluation, since we don't have the luxury of time, I would pinpoint some of you guys to answer each sentences. So fill me out before you go. Identify what kind of pronouns are used in the following sentence. And the first example, number 1, this phone is worth 10,000 pesos. Who would like to answer? May I call on Miss Kyle Daphne? The pronoun in the sentence and this, and what type of pronoun is the word this?
Demonstrative.
Yes, thank you. I will just list it and we will check your answer later. Second, my diary is full of written memories. Yes, Miss Charlotte, you're raising your hand.
Possessive pronouns.
Okay, thank you, Charlotte. I'll list your name here. Third, we have I love to educate the youth. Who would like to answer? Yes, Miss Keith.
Personal pronoun.
Yes. We will check it later. The fourth example, some things are worthy of our protection. What do you think? Does the word some falls under what category of or type of pronoun? Miss Charlotte, again, or Miss Aline. Let's give a chance for Miss Aline. Some, the word
Intensive.
intensive. Okay, let's take, I'll just jot it down. The fifth example we have here, Erica can do it herself. What do you think is the classification of the pronoun herself? Is Miss Jasril here? I think she's not here. Crystalline, Miss Crystalline, what type of pronoun is the word herself? Okay, so let's move on to the next example. We should love one another. Who would like to answer this question? Miss Charlotte. One another.
Ako na lang.
Okay. Go, Miss Crystalline. For example number 6. One another. The phrase one another.
Sagutan ko na lang yung sa 5. Yung tinatawag mo ko sa
Sige.
5.
Go. Erica can do it herself. What?
Reflexive pronoun.
Yes. Okay. So Charlotte, please answer the last question. We should love one another. What type of pronoun is the phrase one another?
Reciprocal pronouns.
Yes. So let us check your answers. First question, Kyle Daphne answered, and she's correct. It is the word this is a demonstrative pronoun. Second is a possessive pronoun. Charlotte was correct. Third, we have Miss Keith. Her answer is correct, personal pronoun. For the fourth question, Miss Allen was wrong. It is not an intensive pronoun. It is indefinite because of the word some. It doesn't refer to a specific. It doesn't specify. So we should, it falls under the category of an indefinite pronoun. So Miss Crystalline got it right. The word herself is a reflexive pronoun. And last, we have Miss Charlotte. She's right when she said that one another falls under the category of a reciprocal pronoun. So I still have here an activity, guys. So give the missing lyrics and sing the song. So we have here an example, Touch It, our song by Ariana Grande. How do you know I'm breathing when I'm holding my breath? Why don't we face the danger just for the night and forget? We have here 3 underlined and highlighted words, you, my, and we. And the classification of the word you is a personal pronoun. My is a possessive pronoun, and we is a personal pronoun. So let's move on to another example before the another slide that you will answer. You take me to a place only we know, away from all the noise and the people. You take me to a place only we know. When I hear your voice, say the word and we'll go. So the words you and we are personal pronouns. By the way, it is a song by Clean Bandit, which is entitled Everything But You. And the word your is a possessive pronoun. So here is the last slide for this activity. It's the song You entitled You by Jonathan Gray. So who would like to answer? Who would like to fill the blanks in this sentence? May I call on Miss Aline? I think we are all familiar with this song, I guess, or majority
Sir,
of us.
hindi po.
Okay, may I
Hindi ko
call on
familiar.
Ma'am Crystal Pauline Oviedo?
It's your smile, your face, your lips that I miss. Those sweet little eyes stare at me and make me say, I'm with you for all
Yes,
the
ma'am.
way.
Yes, let's.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Galing ni ma'am.
Yes. Okay, so Ma'am Crystal Pauline was correct for all of her answers. It's your smile, your face, your lips that I miss. Those sweet little eyes that stare at me and make me say I'm with you for all the way. The word your is a possessive pronoun. I is a personal pronoun. Those is a demonstrative pronoun. And you is a personal pronoun. So I have here an assignment for you guys to compose sentences using the different types of pronouns we have discussed and write 2 sentences for each type. So if you want to check my references, here it is. And thank you for listening, and don't have a good day, have a great day. That would be all, and I really hope you are you have learned something from me, and you really did listen well, so that you have something to reflect on.
Okay,
Thank you,
so
sir.
may I get the microphone now, Mr.